This is Rodison. This is Grasshopper. And a pleasant and good and wonderful morning be yours as well. For it is turning out to be the same for me. A pleasant morning. Do you have a routine? I know recently we talked about this idea of scheduling, planning. Um, I'll tell you the truth, like lately, the topics that I've come up with, the things that I've been talking to you about, talking to myself about, really and truly, like, if you don't know this by now, regarding every and anything in life that you're doing or is being done around you or by anyone else, whatever we are doing, whatever I am doing, and it's cohesive, consistent too, whatever I am doing is for me. The good I'm putting out in the world is for me. It's selfish. The good meaning the balance. That's what good means to me. Good means balance. There's no such thing as um, the way we think of things in terms of negative and bad. You know, bad simply means to me that it doesn't align with me anymore. It did at one point. Everything did align. Everything does align with you. It's just at this particular point and period in my evolution, does this thing, like, I always wanted a Subaru. I always wanted the Crosstrack car. Now, if you ask me, Rod, what's the car you want right now? That's I like it, but is that the car I'm still gonna want? So I've evolved. And the point is just to say that everything that one is doing, and if we just remember that, if we just consistently, constantly remember these particular things, these important key fundamentals, we be the best Jedi's we intend on being, you know, Padawans. Because that's what Grasshopper is. It's a Padawan. These are ancient terms, ancient codes that inform us. You know, the Netters back in ancient Kemet or Egypt. These individuals were netters. They're the ones who dealt with the ether, the net, meaning that you think it was deceiving because when we look, I'm jumping all over the place. That's just typically me in the morning, actually afternoon and night as well. Gets a little, it's calms down at night for me, but in the morning it's like there's a lot going on because you're dealing with the stuff from the night before. It's what morning means. Morning implies you know, God, follow me. Sígueme. What I mean is, I went to Japan last year and I had this awakening, this revelation of sorts. It was about mourning. It was about death. It was about all of those things because it's all one and the same, right? You think life, death, mourning is all the same thing. You really just got to understand there's points and periods in this journey for you, a daily journey or a weekly journey or a yearly journey, or the cycles are cycles within cycles. We are a cycle ourselves, right? Everything we do cycles, secular we are. And so in Japan, I remember, I think it was Hakone or something like that. Beautiful, beautiful place. And I just remember waking up in the mornings and I just feel this like sense of like wanting to understand more and deeper things, you know? It's a different culture. And so the morning thing really, I had to really sit with that and understand what it was. And that's what I mean. It's like I don't just, I'm not, you might not see Rodison walking into a university or some sort of museum and some sort of what you think is the institution that one will have to go to in order to acquire such knowledge. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I believed at one point as well. That's what you believed at one point as well. There's none of us who didn't believe it. We all were from and of the environment that we're speaking to and relating to. Um, and I find that in the mornings, the idea that when the idea I take it back even like I said, these netters and in ancient Greece, I remember learning that they would basically like when someone passed on, they would have these professional mourners, these professional people who cry. Go in the Met Museum, go in any one of the museums, you'll see there's these what do they call it? Shit. Uh it's like they have these jars, these huge jars they used to have in Greece, and they would have these paintings on it. And they'd have like in Egypt, how you didn't see any books, you scroll, you ain't opening any books and seeing pictures or words. You see it's paintings. Everything's a painting. And that's how most of what we know of ancient Greece right now is not really their words, it's their paintings that inform us more of what they were doing. The paintings are the ancient way of communicating. You're using colors and you're using different things. That's why when they find things now that's been buried for thousands and thousands of years, the color has been gone from it. But at one point in time, you walk through, like for instance, in the Met, or you go to the British Museum, or you go to Berlin Museum, and you walk through ancient Assyria and Babylon, and you see the processional ways where you had to, if you wanted to walk into a king back then, and you walked into these walls that were like slabs of stone, but engraved with these reliefs of like these ancient genies and these statues of, I mean, these sculptures of these giant creatures with like human heads, and like where did they get this from? Like you got to be out of your mind to think that the motherfuckers was just like came from cavemen one minute chalking up some stick figures on the wall, and the next minute they sculpting shit like that. You got to be real about it and ask your museum to do better. This is what we got to do that. Like you got to do better and say to your museum, like, nah, bro, come on, we need a better explanation than that. Like if I walk down the street and I saw the Burj Khalifa building in Dubai, I'm not gonna be like, must have took them no time to do this. No real technology, no real knowledge, no real anything. So we degrade people, we degrade cultures, and we don't understand. And like I said, yo, everything you do, every single thing you've done in your existence was for you. So if that meant shitting on somebody, guess who you shitted on? Yourself. I mean, if you're not seeing it that way, then you can understand why you would be doing it that way, right? But if you actually saw it, just think for yourself. Even if you don't see it that way, you don't have to see it that way. See things how you think you should see it. For sure. I'm gonna see it how I think I should see it, but I'm open to hearing how you see it. Because there might be something for me to glean there. And I'm always trying to glean, bro. It may not look like that to you, but I'm always gleaning. Yeah, I got jewels in my pockets that you ain't never took away from the situation that we both went into. Trust me when I tell you that. Because I'm not competing with you. I'm trying to grow. It's like we're playing a video game that we're both playing together. We watch each other. Are you competing with me? That's one way to do it. But doesn't that make that a little bit more difficult for you than just to compete against the game? Just to play the game instead of having to worry about me. I remember when I was a kid, I'd do that. I play if he was playing basketball, I love football more, American football. But like when I played basketball, I would always lose. It didn't matter who I was playing. It really did not. I thought I sucked at basketball. I really did. I thought I sucked at it. But you know why? I'm not a competitive person like that. I need to be competing against myself. I need to be relaxed. I need to be chill. Let me be chill and relaxed. Like, so you got to think about it, right? What is competition? What is it? What is it? It's asking the same from yourself and from the other party or whoever is involved. The game, if you're playing the game, is asking, requesting something from the thing you're dealing with, you're engaging. That's all. Like break down what competition is, and you'll see you've been misunderstanding it for the entirety of your existence in this life. Because competition has nothing else to do with the simple fact that you are engaging something and requesting something from it, a commonality, right? Competition. You're petitioning. It's a common petition. So, like, if you playing somebody, like two teams playing basketball, are they not trying to find a common goal? They're both searching for the common goal. They both want the common goal. But we've been led to believe that that implies that I have to get it. When we both find a goal, I have to get it. And if I get it first, you don't get it. That's not common. Ain't nothing common about that. It's a petition that I'm seeking from you, a petition you're seeking from me, and a petition we're seeking from the game we're considering and we're being a part of. That's all it is. What can you get from it? That's all life is ever going to be for you. The simpler and the faster you are able to accept that, the better and the more equipped you will be throughout this journey. Stop competing against things in the sense that you've been taught in a negative way of trying to take without leaving anything for anybody else to gain. That's selfish. That's not competition. Competition is using you to make me better, using me to make you better, using the structure, the game, whatever it is we're in to use it better. Nothing will be left for us to not make ourselves better. So commonality is that we're both supposed to have the same drive, the same determination to get everything from this thing because we came in with an agreement. But you've jiggered everything up in this sort of way in which you like totally are against anything you're playing with. You can see the fault and the problem in that. You go in a relationship with someone, right? You go in a relationship with someone, and what are you doing? You engaging them as a friend? You engaging them as a person? You engaging them as an equal party? Or you trying to take them down? You trying to beat them? That's not competition. Wait, where you see in the dictionary, competition means beating someone. It's a peat, right? It's a peat. It's a it's a commonality. Like I do understand it, but like when I hear information that resonates with me, something has to happen. Something must happen. Something shifts. Like it would be as if you're playing a game and you take it on the way you take on competition today, which means that you got to get the best. You got to best someone else or somebody else, something else. What relationship in your life, in your existence, especially as a human being, because you're not a lion, you're not hunting for food where you got to like, you know, be king of the jungle. Why do you need to have the advantage over someone in life? And how do you not see that as not competition? Who are you seeing out there in this world with as far as competition goes that you believe is equal to you or has something that you really want and you say, you know what? I'm gonna go, I'm gonna compete with that. No, you compete with things that you believe are better than you. That's the reason you go there. You want to take down things that you don't understand how competition was turned into a negative thing and then set upon you. And you were shown how to do it because it's the same competition for war that it is for the football games and for the basketball games. Like you don't even asking questions like, so wait, hold on. How am I playing this game with my friends? These are my dudes, these are my girls. How am I playing this game with them under the same basic principles that you motherfuckers are going to war with? There's rules of war, rules to engage. Like you can't just do anything. You can't just do anything. No, there's rules and there's governing officials who are managing that war. Why do you think you get reports back from your news companies telling you this person did this and is out of like how you got morals during war? Russia did this during the Ukraine war. I thought he said he was trying to bomb the fuck out of the motherfuckers. So why am I expecting him to like Japan got two big ass bombs drop on them like that, and we still ain't saying, yo, how did we do that? How did we allow that to happen? But then you're gonna talk about Putin and war. Like that's like you being Michael Jordan and then playing basketball and kicking butt, kicking butt, kicking butt. And then all of a sudden, some other team figures you out and starts kicking butt. And now all of a sudden, you got feelings about how they're kicking your ass or someone else's ass. Like, I don't know what confuses me about this realm and this space and this culture that I'm in is that you're so one-sided. Like, you think what should be for you, what should happen for you, what should affect you. You feel like the type of life you should have should not be the type of life I should have. That's what you think. You really do believe that you are deserving of something better, bigger, greater than what I deserve. You truly believe that. That's the only reason you compete, because you believe the trophy is bigger than you and that other person. And the way we will determine who's bigger and better is by whoever crushes the other one. I used to play ping pong, still do. Love it. It's a very, very good game. I also I find that there are certain things that are certain activities rather that are aligned with the mental and the emotional state of the being. So if you play certain games like basketball too, I mean, I think really all games can do that for you. Can bring it out. Ping pong did it for me. I also like I said, I watched a lot of kung fu movies, and besides kung fu movies, I watched a ton of cartoons. I had a really to me, if you came up in the 80s and the 90s, those were the best cartoons. I used to watch cartoons like Silverhawk. Some of you never noticed. Will never notice some of these cartoons. I mean, besides Thundercats and He-Man and She-Ra and Voltron and Car Voltron, like I mean, you know about that one. Bionic Six. Um, shit, man, I can name cartoons. Braveheart. Like, I've been around, man. I observed Batman, Spider Man, X Men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've read comics as a kid. I collected. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these things informed me of there's a sort of that's why martial arts is called martial arts. It is an art form, 100%. Tai Chi, Kung Fu, Karate. You know what I mean? Any one of these things, it's an art. It is an art. An art is the first science before you came along and said that you need to now change the name from art to something else. It's only art. It's always, ever, only, ever will be art. There's nothing aside from that. I remember having a old friend back in the day, and I said to her, she was an engineer, and I said something about artists, and she says, I said, well, you're a scientist or artist or something like that. She's like, well, I'm a computer engineer, and I was like, you see what I'm talking about? You see, people speak down about themselves, but yet internally they're competing against you. When people speak down to themselves, if you say to somebody, you're a genius, and they go, no, not me, man, not me, that person is internally competing against you in the negative way. Because their negative self about how they feel themselves, they don't want you to know that they see themselves as better than you. So they're gonna tell you, nah, I'm just this. But watch how they moving around you. Watch how they moving around you. They competing against you internally in that negative sense, but they could be in the positive sense. Because what did I tell this person? I said, you're an artist. I'm not trying to say I'm fucking better than you, bitch. You can't even do it. I can do it. Da 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 da. No, I'm not doing that. I'm saying, yo, you great. You. Listen, man. If you breathe in the air, if you can say, hey, Rod, there's a bird. You're an artist. If you can say, hey, look at that flower. It's pretty. You're an artist. You have to be able to appreciate first, obviously, right? Because come on, you ain't come out a baby pit with a paintbrush in your hand, doing some shit, playing the piano. You wasn't no. You have to hear it first. You have to resonate with you first. So think about a child. Think about a child when a child, you said this Beethoven's a child prodigy, music. This person's a child prodigy. Think about a child. How do they learn? Who are they competing against? But they're kicking your ass. Maybe they're doing something that we're not. Maybe we need to start looking at the children and how they doing the things, because it's on the zone for them. They're relating to the actual thing that they're trying to understand. They're trying to be better at. So it's like if it's basketball, if it's music, if it's a piano, if it's martial arts, if whatever it is for this child, it is them against, or not against, rather them in front of that experience. And whether or not they will accept that experience is based upon, does it resonate with them? That's what sometimes parents, I remember having this other friend who said her child's all over the place when it comes to like piano practice and this and that. And I'm like, You're an adult, and aren't you all over the place? Like, how many things you know for sure you're gonna do? You date this dude and say, "Nah, he ain't for me anymore." Like, so you all over the place too. We all are all over the place because we're not one thing. So just because your child look like she only got 3, 4, 5, 6 years on this planet, it don't mean they only one thing. Why do we do that to people? Like, why do we suggest for people what we don't want for ourselves, even our own children? Like, why would you suggest that your child is all over the place? Something's wrong with them because you can't have the easiest life you want, which is like set them up for piano practice, set them up for flute, set them up for this, football, and then go. And you get to go chill with the homegirls and drink your drinks. And today you might want to do that. Tomorrow you're gonna do something else. Today you're gonna do, you know what I mean? Every day you do something different. But your child is supposed to set themselves to a schedule because that makes whose life easier? Let's hear it from everyone. Whose life it makes easier? Whose life? Yours. But who said they wanted a child? Hmm. How you complaining now? You said you wanted a child. Let me tell you, if that spaceship comes in the mail for me, if I wake up tomorrow morning and there's a spaceship on my motherfucking lawn with the keys there and a being standing outside talking about, welcome, Mr. Grant. I'm just gonna give you a run through on how this shit works, and then you on your own. You think I'm gonna say, I mean, but like I gotta learn this? I ain't got nobody to drive me? Like, so you think I got questions other than, and so when I'm landing, do I gotta like slow it down in this way or like that's your child? You got the gift of a lifetime, and you got complaints? Who didn't tell you the child will come out with a brain and opinions and feelings? When did you get duped into thinking, shit, this motherfucker could think? This motherfucker could speak. When did you get duped? I had a homegirl tell me that. I just don't feel like people talked enough about pregnancy and all this. I'm a dude, and you just said what? I'm a man, and my mom talks so much about childbirth. My sister talks so much about childbirth. My brothers and their partners talk so much about childbirth. Like, who the fuck, what rock did you crawl from under that didn't have children underneath it as well? Like, what? Where you came from that you so surprised about what child raised and child ran is about? What on this planet that is happening right now that you could be so shocked that it's happening as something as childbirth, the thing that's been happening from the inception of the human race? How you caught off guard? Like, you got to be honest with yourself and say you don't need to be in life if that's your views. You don't need to be here. Your child does. You don't, because you don't see the point. How you not? How you gonna see the value, the purpose, the intention of life, and you don't understand the very being that you prayed for? You can't comprehend it because you don't want to wrap your minuscule mind, your tiny mind. You can't stretch your tiny mind because you've never expanded it. You've sent it into a facility called college, and it shrunk your fucking mind. That's what it did for you. It shrunk your mind. If you think you have a wider view or a wider perspective, then why do you have so many fucking opinions? Opinions are the number one way to suggest that you don't have an open mind. There's a knowing, and then there's opinion. It's like opinions is like, well, that's what they say, but I feel like that's opinion. That's your opinion. There's, well, that's what's really happening, but I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like they ain't, and then like that's your opinion. That's only your opinion, and that's based on your negative state of being that you chose, not who you are, not who you actually want to be, not who the child you reproduce wants to see, but it's here to help. That is your choice, is your opinions, man. That is fucked up. And you can't understand that the source of all of your negative opinions is the institutions you went into. Don't trust me when I tell you this. I was a Jehovah's Witness, and that is an institution. And it is where I got a lot of the negativity. I got to believe it, right? Because why? They taught me Jehovah is the only true God. So what does that mean about your God if his name ain't Jehovah? Or she ain't a he? What do you think that taught me? Let's be real about this, man. Stop playing the games. Aren't you tired of playing games? Like, when are you, like, you're not winning at it, so when do you get tired of losing? Legitimately losing. And you know you're losing. Nobody can tell you you're losing. You don't need a ref. You don't need a coach. You don't need a fucking official. You don't need nothing. You don't need a crowd. You don't need cheerleaders. You need nothing. Your conscience is telling you, you're losing, bitch. You're fucking it up. This dude told me once about going to school, right? I remember his the same, actually, is the same couple. The partner, the dude said, we're talking about school, and I'm like, yo, like, he's like, yeah, we just moved to such and such and such, and we're trying to figure out where to what school to send the child to, and we heard this school is good. This, and I would, man, I don't have children, but I tell you, man, do you guys pay attention? Listen to yourselves, man. Like, if you're a parent and you're concerned about what school you're sending your child to, when did it become their responsibility to raise your child? Just because everybody else is doing it, you think it's right? Do I have to go back to the oldest saying on the fucking planet? If everybody else started walking off a cliff, would you do it too? That's the one your mother used on you, and you probably used it on your child already to get them to stick with what the fuck you telling them to do. But what are you doing? Are you following the crowd off the fucking ridge? Like religious folks, broad and spacious is the road leading off to destruction. Ain't that what you were taught? Narrow and cramped is the road leading off to everlasting life. Ain't that what you taught? Ain't that what you were taught? So how the fuck you on the road with the most opinions, the most people? Broad and spacious is the road leading off into destruction. That's what the Bible fucking says. And if you don't believe that, even if you don't believe in the Bible, you got to see the logic behind that. If everyone's doing it, it probably ain't the right thing to do. It probably ain't the right thing to do, especially since that is not the game. The game isn't if everyone's doing it, it is the logic thing to do. No, the whole entirety of the population of a certain group of people, when slavery was in effect, there was entire populations that were okay with it. When the Nazis were taking the Jews off, there were entire German populations that were okay with it, and other Italians all over the world. There were French people, there were English people who agreed. There were Americans who agreed with the Germans. So stop playing the stupid game and acting like you don't know your fucking history. Every disaster that has taken mankind by another part of mankind was agreed upon by the majority. The grand majority agreed with it. So if that was watch the movie, man. Man who fell to the earth. The day the earth stood still, rather. The day the earth stood still. What did Keanu Reeves show us? That other species were watching us. Other more advanced, meaning in the sense that they've evolved faster and further than we are. Not faster, but further along. Because we don't know the timeline it took for them. And no one implies that anything is faster or slower. Time is a relative thing to where you are. So if I'm on the other side of the universe, time is different for me, right? You saw The Martian. Watch your movies, man. Learn from your shit that you're observing. How you taking in, consuming, but not learning. It's like eating food and not getting any nutritional benefits. That's impossible. If you ate shit, there's something in that shit that will still give you something back. That's how fucking real this shit is. You gotta be better than that, man. And like, stop being so stupid and closed-minded, man. You think you closed-minded and you walk on that shit, you look like you're bold and you're tough and you're strong, but you don't understand. The only reason you thinking what you are and you being what you are, because you gotta have a fucking circle of people around you. One motherfucker is more powerful than a billion. I will always find myself more powerful than any motherfucker who stands up and thinks that they're competing against me but want to be my friend. Because that's how you motherfuckers do it. That's why you were so interested in competition. It's because competition for you is not even like going up to a person who you consider to be your opponent and saying, I challenge you to a duel. That's why women can challenge men. Men can challenge women. Adults can challenge children. Make them feel insecure. Why? Because if you make something feel insecure, then the competition is yours, ain't it? Ain't that the way it works? Nobody ain't stupid to the game anymore. Like, we're not being dumb anymore. We understand the game. So when you play the game and act like you don't understand the game, but you're competing against people quietly, silently. When you're looking for somebody's demise, somebody's downfall, when you're wishing the worst on somebody, when you're hoping they don't succeed, aren't you competing? Ain't that your way of competing? Yeah. Ain't that the way? You don't got to say nothing to them. You ain't got to say nothing to them. You smiling from across the street. Yeah, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, I hope they fail. I hope they fail. I hope they fail. Why you hope somebody fail? Let me tell you this right now. The number one rule of your competition, one of the major rules of your competition is that you're supposed to want me to be actually better than you if you're going to compete with me. We understood this rule as kids. We understood this rule as kids playing basketball outside of Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. We understood this rule that you're only as good as your competition. Like if you play a team that sucks, you don't seem like you suck because you're only as good as your competition. So like kids understood that, like children understood that. We would play ball and be like, yo, man, yeah, they suck, man. Why you say that? Because look how we were playing. They didn't give us anything to reach for. That's what it is. You understood that as a kid, your competition. Yo, I got it's competition, but like, and then we're trying to make it make sense. We were trying to take what we were feeling, what we were getting. We understood, like we got that. No one said that on TV. We understood that. Yo, wow, that shit is wild. So if that motherfucker is good, and I play him, I'm gonna level up. But he might not level up. But he might, but because it depends on how much I'm trying to be where he's at or she's at. But that's the level up. That's why I would say with ping pong. I play ping pong, and what I realize is the competition. I remember having this conversation a while ago, man, with some dude, and he was talking about competition, how the animals compete. I'm like, wait, so when did you drop on all fours and start peeing on trees with one leg up? When did you start doing that? That you taking lessons from competition from the tigers and the lions? Like, you're so fucking dumb. You see what I'm saying? You're so dumb that you talking to an adult human being with a brain, consciousness, awareness, and you telling him that you took your advice on competition from a lion or a tiger or a bear. But you also went to a university. You also went to a school. So you tell me now, how are you smarter, more equipped, more aware than a person who didn't go to that school? I had to learn that stupidness you learned. I had to get it, put it out of them. Like I could have just watched the Nature Channel and come up with that one. But how are you so smart? Competition, the way I see it, the way it fucking is, not the way your bum asses has been speaking about it and doing it in the hidden corners of your fucking jealous eyes. Not the way they've been doing it. No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not competition. That's cowardness. That's cowardly behavior. You can't stand aside of a fucking crowd and say your truth. You are a coward then. If you can't speak truth to an experience aside, separate from a crowd or a group of people, or your parents, your family, your friends, if you can't do that, you're a coward. You ain't got no reason to be standing. Go sit somewhere fucking down. Matter of fact, walk into a river into a body of water with a stone around your fucking neck and stay there because you're faking it. And I'm done with the fake stuff. There's no room left for fake. Yeah, if you ain't being real, then what the fuck you being in my presence for? Or ain't anybody's presence for? I'm striving every day to be realer and realer. The more real I am, the more real my reality is. It best blesses me like that. Your competition is meant to make you get better. You pick the thing that you want to be better at. Doesn't matter. You pick the thing you want to be better at. You never ask yourself how dudes who ain't competing against nobody, how they getting better? How Einstein was so smart, how Nikola Tesla was so smart. Who they competing against? When Nikola Tesla brought the idea to Edison about converting energy, transformers, step down and step up transformers and DC converters. When he brought the idea to Edison, his name is not Con. When he brought the idea to Edison, Edison didn't like it. Guess why? It's because of who he came from. And it also would have interrupted or disrupted Edison's whole system because his whole system was already set up for DC, direct current. So New York City's ran with AC current. The most of the world on this side America's ran by AC current, alternative current. Right? So they took a higher current that Edison wanted to use, DC, direct current, which would have blow your shit out of your house. Most of the equipment you have in your house does not operate on DC current. None of it, actually, for the most part, runs off of DC current. Except for like a battery, your cars. If you have a Tesla car, look how weird that is, and it's not the same dude, but he in homage, right? So because of Nikola Tesla, the current that we are using is what we're using. We have electricity the way we have it because of Nikola Tesla. But you don't say your electric bill is by Nikola Tesla. You say it's for Edison, Con Edison, who didn't even come up with that name, Consolidated Edison. JP Morgan did. Made that motherfucker consolidate themselves, all of his businesses. But you don't know none of this shit. You just flick a light switch and you think you got a bright idea. The motherfucker wasn't competing at anybody. He just wanted to advance. He just wanted to motherfucking advance. Any motherfucker, Martin Luther King, George Washington Carver, any motherfucker who invented anything was trying to advance human species. They weren't trying to compete against white men, against black men, against this guy. No, they weren't trying to do that. The sincere ones, at least. Because if you created something for money, then you ain't doing it for the right reasons. Nikola Tesla was trying to bring electric current to the world for free. Why you ain't know about him? That's why. You see, you putting your stocks in other things because that's what your school told you. But know the fucking truth. You got electricity because of one motherfucker. He dead. He died a lonely life talking to fucking pigeons and birds, which I believe is probably the best way to go. Because you motherfuckers ain't got nothing to say other than some negative shit to try to bring a motherfucker down or try to make yourself feel like you better than that motherfucker. That's your whole intention in life, is to leave a motherfucker feeling like shit so you can feel better about yourself. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with what you can do, able to do, but just you want somebody else, your competition, just needs to feel less than who they are in order for you to feel better about yourself. Now that, motherfucker, wow. Wow. Yo, you know. Let me just put you on your motherfucking asses on the game here. You know, if Nikola Tesla had his way, you know, if he wasn't shut down by JP Morgan and Edison. You watched the movie, not The Illusionist. That was Paul Giamatti. You watched the Prestige with Christian Bale, I think. And he's a not huge. What's his name who played Wolverine? Shit, my dude. Australian dude, tall. Yeah. And I forget the old dudes in it. What's her name? Sarah, man, what the fuck? Scarlett Johansson? Is that her name? Did I say that right? She's in it. It's an amazing show, man, but it shows you how Edison was going after Nikola Tesla. It shows you that. But if he wanted to bring, I'm gonna put, man, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, man, how you think you smart and you don't know any of this? The actual thing that you are utilizing every single day of your life, you take for granted and advantage of it every day. Electricity, and you don't even know how it came about in your world, in your reality. But you think you're so smart. You think there's somebody else that you should be taking down. Like, this is just wild to me, man. Wild, because there's like real interesting shit in life, and then there's shit that ain't that interested. Like, what else in your fucking existence is more interesting than that? Dígame, por favor. What else in your whimsy, skinny life is more important than how you got electricity and you're able to use it now? I used to work for electrical companies. I did electrical for a while. So it's very much in tune with me. And I know why I ended up in that sphere, and in that space is because it resonates with me. It resonates with me. Because to me, like, that's important shit. The motherfucker, he was imitating the pyramids in Egypt in the true sense. Because your schools, what did they teach you? What did they teach you? What the pyramids is used for? Storing bodies. And you, with your grown adult mind, still, to this day, believe that. You, with your grown-ass mind, still today believe that these giant stone structures that were taller than fucking, and before Before 1900 something, they were the 18 something, they were the tallest structures on the planet. And that's before the Eiffel Tower. I think it was 18 or something or whatever. Before the Eiffel Tower, the pyramids were the tallest man-made structures on the motherfucking planet. Now, in the name of competition, as you've been practicing it, can't you understand why motherfuckers will tell you it was just there to store bodies? Yeah, I can see why. It's kind of like institutions making Africa seem like it has no wisdom. But you went to those institutions. You went to them. It's kind of like religion making Egypt seem like it had nothing to do with the real way order of life. I studied religion, and they did do that. I remember learning in Jehovah's Witnesses. They taught me basically like the Egyptians. They ain't know shit. Like they just knew how. They were real good masoners. They could put some stones together. Next thing you know, they got a wall. Motherfuckers were great at building. So, but what they were using it for? Oh, they were just throwing bodies in there. You know, they had these beliefs, you know, motherfuckers, yeah, they worship these little bugs and these other things here, and this sundial. You know, and that's how dumb that's just how dumb we took it. Me too. Took it, ate it up. I wasn't even in the museums. I went to the Met. I used to go to the museums all the time. I used to do tours at the Met. I used to give tours at the Met. Standing in front of these shit, talking to people about, yeah, this tomb was used to da-da-da-da-da. And now I'm like, you know what Nikola Tesla was doing? This motherfucker realized that the pyramids were used as conductors, as conductors, providing electricity, current. He used the planet itself as a conductor. He used the atmosphere above the ground as a conductor. You could shoot energy up or shoot it down. Yeah. Yeah. So he was building one out in Long Island. That was the last project he was doing. And the point of building one out in Long Island was gonna be like it's sort of like, you know, when you look out and you see the you go like you driving across country and you see those tall ass antennas, or like those that hold the wire the power lines. That's what it was gonna look like. And what happens is that you could tap into the natural electric sphere of our planet. Unlimited energy. Unlimited energy. Like, let me ask you a question. How does the planet power itself? You're so smart. Have you ever asked that question? Have you ever considered these questions in your term of competition? How does the planet power itself? And wouldn't it be similar to, I've said this before, we're in a spaceship, or we're in a very well habitat, barreling through the galaxy, through the universe. And we're trying to recreate current situations on this spaceship. Like, we're trying to recreate electricity. So you're trying to create batteries, you're trying to create this, you're trying to do all of this stuff to create electricity, to store and create electricity. When the planet itself is spinning faster than you could ever believe, and you don't even know it. Technology. That's technology, bitch. That is fucking technology that your mind can't even wrap around, but yet you think you know. You think you know. There were motherfuckers who wanted to bring this shit for you, wanted to give you free electricity so you don't have to go working for this shit. There were motherfuckers with the brains to do it, who wanted to do it for you for free. But the powers to be said no, bitch. And then they created institutions to teach your ass a different way, another way, the incorrect way. And you said, we prefer that. But the motherfuckers who were trying to bring it to you for free, so you never have to work a day for anything other than things that are actually going to make your life fulfilled. You ain't have to worry about electricity. Man got that for you. He figured it out. There's a million scientists out there who've died, and you figure out how they died. You talk to your governments. There's millions of scientists out there who've created things that will blow your fucking tiny mind, that your institutions at MIT and shit like that couldn't figure out yet. Because you're so dumb to believe that if the fucking structure has it in their grip right here, that they're gonna be the best of the best. You don't think that there's motherfuckers like Nikola Tesla who climbed out from under a rock and nature granted them with a higher ability than any motherfucker that came before them. Read up your history, man. There was a dude named Ramanujan. I wrote a story that I used in motherfucker's name, an Indian dude from India who could spit out fucking mathematical equations that British motherfuckers in Cambridge didn't even fucking understand. There's a multitude of motherfuckers who came before your monkey asses who knew a ton of shit that was stomped the fuck out because they couldn't have you know these motherfuckers exist because you would be living right, you'd be flying motherfucking cars right now. But how do we keep your monkey ass in the dark ages and let your monkey ass believe that this is where you belong and let you compete with each other to keep your monkey ass in the fucking dark ages? How else would they do that? How else would they motherfucking do that? And then you have so much ego and pride thinking you know so much because you got this doctorate from this school, PhD from that, whatever the fuck. But you're so dumb to realize that, yo, let me put all these things that they taught me aside. And let me see how what they've taught me actually benefits me in my day-to-day life. It yes, I need a job to pay for my electric bill. I need a job to pay for my rent. I need a job to pay for my mortgage. I need a job to pay for this. I need a job to pay for. But those are not things you came out the womb with. Those are not things that the planet told you. You ain't get a letter from the planet saying, this is Gaia. You've been due. You ain't pay your bills yet. You ain't get that bill yet. Where's the bill from Gaia? How you got some bill from some dude who was born not too long before you? How could Edison still claim power, electricity is theirs? The motherfucker's been dead for almost, I don't know, almost 100 years now? How are you so dumb that you're okay with that? You're okay with paying for things, using your time to fucking do things that have not benefited you. That the motherfuckers who are charging you for it don't even have any idea how it came into existence anymore. How are you okay with that? Like, yo, for real, you guys go protest for this thing over here, for Ukraine over here. Are you fucking stupid? Are you that stupid? Do you, like, your own history suggests that? The fuck are you doing? Why do you care so much about the fuck happens in Russia and Ukraine? Why do you care? When there's worse things happening in your own land. Why do you care? You're pretending to care. You don't really care. Let's just put it real. You don't care. Like, I will never believe if I was stuck in some war-torn country that you motherfuckers cared. I wouldn't. And it's simple and plain. Like, you don't get it, man. You really don't get it. You know how I know when somebody cares? When that person truly cares for themselves. Like, if I truly care for myself, if you look at me, you would tell I care for myself because I ain't taking no bullshit from nobody else. So you know whatever I talk about, what I care about. When you talk about, do people gather automatically that you care about it, or is it just you so used to sharing opinions and feelings from other people that who the fuck knows what you think anymore? Tell me that ain't true. Tell me it ain't true. Say to me, no. When I speak, people know it is me. Tell me that. Or tell me when you speak, people don't, they're not thinking, oh, he must have learned that from here, or she must have learned that from there. They must have gotten it from, but that is not you. It's a big difference with me, bitch. It's a big difference with me. I've learned to fucking, I've listen, man. If you want to say, we pick up pieces and parts from everywhere and every place that we go. I've done that too. I've done that too. Like I said, I'm of the soup with you. We in the soup together. Crabs in a barrel, right? But some of us motherfuckers climbing out. And we trying to come back and tell you, yo, it ain't what they made us to believe it is. But you monkey motherfuckers is like, they gotta be that. Because it makes you feel better to be able to say you got a group of people behind you. Dumb as motherfuckers, dumb as rocks, but you feel with numbers, their support. Yeah. The same way you would stab any one of them motherfuckers in the back and have, it's the same way they'll stab you in the back. Guess what the point and the benefit of being the originator of yourself is? Ain't no motherfucker gonna stab you in the back. I ain't gotta watch my back. Because let me tell you this right now. Your mother will stab you in the back. Your father will stab you in the back. Your sister will stab you in the back. Your brother, yes, in your back, he will stab you. Your child will stab you in the back. Any motherfucker can stab you in the back. You know why? Because all you've taught them is how to stab people in the back. So why should you now expect anything else? Why should you? You see, I've been stabbed in the back so many fucking times that all it's done is push me about myself. That's because my dumb ass, every time I was around people, I was wanting to be around people. I was wanting to be a part of the group, like everybody else. I'm not saying you're stupid for wanting to be loved. No, that's how they get you. They know you want to be loved. They know you want to be appreciated. They know we need to be cared for and loved. But the thing is, what they ain't telling you is that you, me, we, I am the only one who can care for myself the way I need to be cared for. The moment, the minute, the second, the hour, the day, I decide that is someone else's job, I failed myself miserably. And the one thing I don't do, I think Lil Wayne said it, I don't fail. I don't fail. I succeed in everywhere I go. I mean, listen, and the benefit of that is you may think I failed, but again, you're not on my team. My team consists of one. So therefore, who's the only person gonna know what fail and success looks like to us, to me? Me. You from your bum ass from your wherever you are looking at me, but you not even looking at your own life. So yeah, it's gonna look like I'm failing to you. Because I don't got the crowds with me. I don't got the support you got, the so-called support, because is it real support? Is it real support? That's what I'm saying, man. It's like you motherfuckers building houses like the Three Pigs. You building houses with straw and shit. And just because you got millions of people building the same houses with straw, you looking at the motherfucker who by himself building his house with brick, built brick by brick, brick by brick. You watching this motherfucker build his house brick by brick, and you're just tormenting him. It's like Noah. You're just shading on him. What the fuck is he doing? He don't know what he's doing. He don't know. Look, Joey, how's your house doing? You looking good, Joey. Sue, that straw's coming along, girl. Vic, yeah, man, killing it over there. This dude, Rodison, I don't know the fuck he doing. The fuck he doing? Brick is expensive, bitch. What you doing, Rod? Don't tell him. Let him find out. He's stupid. Let him find out. Let him find out. Listen, we're gonna have a meeting tomorrow where we're gonna ridicule him. Yeah. Let's make him feel like shit. Let's do that. Let's do this. Cause we better. And we building our house with straw. And so that's literally the world we live in today. Is it a right or wrong idea? Well, what does the mass say? And how did the mass get to say that? Well, the media got on it first, and then, they maybe have one or two so-called prolific individuals who aligned with it, and that individual alone has about maybe 3 million people who agree with them on any and everything they say. And so all they had to do was get that motherfucker to say yay or nay, and then, well, you got 3-4 million people saying it, and then you got this other individual over here who's a congressman or a congresswoman, and she, they claim to be for the people, so that's all people like this. They for the people. And then, yeah. And so they said it. And so we got them on it. And so how did you get all of them? Well, we found the key individuals. Well, who the fuck hasn't said that? Malcolm X said that. I think it was Thurgood Marshall who was accused of it, who said it, or whatever. But this is not, that's the reason you don't know about Nikola Tesla. That's the reason you don't know about the individuals who do the most work. Is because there was campaigns to smear them. You know the same campaigns you do at work to smear the employee that you don't like, or the neighbor that you don't like, or the friend in the friend group that you don't like. You know the smear campaign. You know what I'm talking about, right? You do it on a smaller level. I always say this. Your government is basically a family like you have in your household. The same shitty games they playing with the culture and with the people and with the businesses and with everything else. The same lies they telling you. you telling your friends and your friends telling you. You guys just bullshitting each other. You gossiping about people, right? So that for what reason? So that they can have a negative effect on them. So they never reach the goals that they trying to reach. Because you see a motherfucker building a house of brick, just because you don't like doing it, you can't just leave a motherfucker alone. Maybe one day go over on the side and hand him a brick or two. Nah, that's not what you're gonna do. That's not what you're gonna do. But you different from your government. You keep telling yourself you different from your government, that you got a heart. Yeah. You haven't done one thing in your life that is yours, that you can claim you did it aside or against the odds. One thing in your fucking life that you did. Everything you did was according to the book, by the book, and then you fucking signed the book. You ain't special. You ain't special. You signed up for ordinary, and now you want to be special. It's the most amazing thing, man. You got egos in the wrong places. Like, I swear to God, you motherfuckers, like, you don't believe in yourself. You sincerely don't believe in yourself, but yet you're competing against people who you can see believe in themselves, and you're doing things to tear them down. I see right through you, Judas. Listen, man, everything is for the benefit of the population and for the individual. Meaning, anything that is done, the scripture says, "There's no weapon formed against you shall prosper." What does it mean? How could somebody form a weapon against you? Why would your own? Why would your own? Why would your own desire to form a weapon against you? Why? 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 Ain't that like when you go into university, you ask, why is ain't that the biggest why? Why would anyone do that? Atomic bombs. Atomic bombs. Atomic bombs. What is done on the grand level is done on tiny scales, individually in families all over the world. Mother is dropping bombs on son. Son is dropping bomb on father. Father's dropping bomb on daughters. Daughters dropping bomb on brothers. Cousins dropping bomb on cousins. Everybody's dropping bombs, and they think because they can do it because they think because technology today allows you to bomb a motherfucker without having to let them know you're the one bombing them, because the technology we have today allows you to emotionally and mentally bomb some motherfucker who you know is doing good because they doing what they want to do. That's what good is. Balance for the motherfucker individually. So if they doing good and you suggest that, well, I don't really agree with that, you left yourself. You can see that, can't you? Like, if you are yourself and you're concerned with what Rodison is doing, can't you see whoever you are is now jealous? Can't you understand that? If you had a partner and you said to your partner, every day you're talking about Rodison, you're Rodison doing this and he doing that, Rodison, man. What do you think that partner's taking? You think they're just hitting the negative and say, yeah, man, we should get. No, they thinking, yeah, but you totally obsessed with that motherfucker. You totally obsessed with it. You totally obsessed with him. So what do you think you doing when you doing this to yourself? When you talking about you talking to yourself, I say, this motherfucker doing this and this motherfucker doing that, and he doing it, and she doing that, and she doing it, and he doing it. What do you think yourself is saying? Yeah, but you saying all this negative shit, but where your attention goes, what flows? What flows? What flows? Your energy. So you think yourself doesn't know that? You think you're so dumb? Like, see, I think that's why I say this before. I'll go on a limb further for many people, and they would even go off of their own motherfucking self. You think you're that dumb. You think yourself is so dumb to not realize the reason you keep yapping about this person is because you like them. You want to be like them. You aspire to be like them, but you just don't have the balls, the guts, the courage to leave cowardness and go over and say, yeah, I appreciate what you're doing, man. I see you. I see you. Keep doing it. And your soul would say to you, wow, wow, wow. I didn't know we could do that. Your soul knows, but I'm just saying, like, your ego would appreciate it, because your ego is not some bad person that you like, because you like jumping on, throwing all the. That's what I'm saying. Like, you motherfuckers put blame on anything else other than yourself, and you don't realize how it is yourself you're blaming. You can't blame your ego without blaming yourself. Your ego didn't walk out on its own. Like, it's yours. My ego got the best of me. Bitch, you got the best of yourself. Fuck you talking about? Don't, no. no, I would love to be like, bring your ego out here right now. Let's talk to that motherfucker. So you trying to tell me like, you're the one who convinced her to do all that shit? And be like, I'll be honest with you, sir. Like, it was her idea the whole time. I mean, I'm just doing what I was told. Yes, we get that. We know that. But this bitch is willing to throw you under a bus for the preservation of our own fucking self. Like, who? Not even the ego, because you threw the ego under the bus. So who you doing it for? Who you doing it for? It ain't the ego. So who you doing it for? Who's benefiting then? Zero persons. Zero persons. Get your shit together. Get your shit together. I mean, why not? Why choose to live a life in which you are against everything secretly? Why choose to do that? Why not choose to be in harmony, to resonate with what everything, to be peaceful to everything, to be loving, to be kind, to care for everything, to treat everything with compassion and love, the same type of love that you desire to have? Why not show the world how you want to be treated by treating everything else that way? Why not practice that? Is that what you learned in your university? That the degree worth so much money for you? Is that what you learned? Did they teach you how to love yourself? Which is what could be more valuable in your fucking tiny life than the idea that someone could inform you on how to treat, love, care for yourself. And if you have not learned that from any of the places you went to, paid money to, who's the fool?